Now, I've shared it with quite a few recruiters recently. It's proving to be really successful for them at the moment because it creates differentiation, an element of disruption, but more than anything, it creates really good quality engagement with candidates. So if you're currently working on jobs and you're kind of left thinking, well, I feel like I've done everything that I can. I found all of these people, I've sent them some messages, I've dialed the ones that I had numbers for, I haven't really got to where I want to be, I need more. Before you start looking for more, let's look at what you've done with the ones that you'd already found and consider what else could we be doing to create a stronger sequence of events to help us to be able to capture their attention and then build some trust with them so that we start to increase the quantity and quality of responses that we're getting. So we're going to talk about something that I would frame as being called a sequence, right? So a sequence is a series of actions that takes place in a defined order over a fixed period of time. Now you can run a sequence using automation or you can run a sequence manually. It's totally up to you. The important thing is when you are working on a job, you identify a selection of individuals who you think look like good prospects and you begin your outreach. Start your outreach with your first piece of outreach with clarity on what does my fifth look like. So when you know what the first one looks like and you know what the fifth one looks like, because we've now got a first and a fifth, we should be able to then work out, well, we're going to have a second and a third and a fourth. And when you're able to say, this is what I'll do first, and then this is what I'll do second, and then this is what I'll do third, and this is what I'll do fourth, and this is what I'll do fifth, a 5-touch plan to be able to capture the attention of candidates and then share something that builds some trust, creates a sequence of events where the period of time that you roll that over, combined with the consistency with which you do the outreach, will significantly improve the quality of your response rate. So if I share an example, somebody who I was working with very recently put together a targeted list of 85 people, the 85 individuals that we found who looked like good prospects for this particular tech-orientated project manager role. 79 email addresses were discovered for them using various email lookup tools, and I'm sure you know the types of tools that I'm talking about. So when you identify the email address for that potential person that you found on LinkedIn, and you then create a series of emails. In this case, we put together 5 emails. 5 emails got sent to 79 people, and the 79 people who received it, the open rate, the open rate was 82%. So 82% of the emails that were sent got opened, and the 82% of emails that got opened across 79 people gave that recruiter the opportunity to be able to show them something that gave them the option to get involved, or gave them something that was designed to build trust and credibility so that they would want to get involved. So across those 5 emails, with a 82% open rate, there was a 48% response rate and a 32% interest rate. So 32% of the 79 people who got messaged were interested in finding out more, and they booked time in that person's calendar. So that 5 email sequence that started with an initial message to say, hey you, I've picked you because, and that first message, 75% of it was about them rather than about the job. So it's kind of like, I've picked you for all of these reasons, and because of those things that I'm highlighting, I thought you'd be interested in this. And it was like 1 or 2 facts about a role, but far more information to say, whilst researching, these were the things that really stood out, and because of those things, I believe this could be worth exploring. And once they had positioned the role, and then followed that up with a second message 2 days later to say, following on from my previous message below, here is some additional data. And not just did they share additional data, they shared a video, and in that video was the future hiring manager talking about the role, so they could actually see and hear and get a feeling for what that manager would be like as their future manager. And because the video was less than 60 seconds, because it was impactful, responses increased. A third message was then sent, and the third message dealt with the objection. And the unspoken objection when you are doing outreach by email is, I'm not looking for a job, so I'm not going to pay a great deal of attention to this. So the third message was all about, even if you don't consider yourself to be actively looking for a job, 3 compelling reasons why you might want to explore. Fourth message, we're now in a position where we're shortlisting. This is the last opportunity for you to get involved. I'd hate for you to miss out because 3 facts about them. Message 5, if timing isn't right, then why don't you follow us here on Facebook, subscribe to this on LinkedIn, listen to our podcast, and we can keep you fully up to date with everything which is going on in this space. Those 5 messages, constructed and sent over a period of 9 working days, created a response that allowed that recruiter to spend most of their time talking to people who were interested, many of whom replied to say, although I'm not actively looking for something, this is something I want to find out more about. It wasn't a low-hanging fruit gathering exercise, people. It was message number 2, message number 3, and message number 4 that created the true impact. Message 1 and message 5, the bookends to it, the introduction as to why they had been picked themselves, and then the let's maintain some kind of dialogue so that you can subscribe to our channels. The real sales messages were 2, 3 and 4. 2, 3 and 4 generated the majority of the responses. 2, 3 and 4 generated the majority of candidates who ended up being shortlisted, and most of those candidates ended up being booked into that person's calendar without the recruiter having to do all of that heavy lifting of sifting, filtering and making phone calls to people, because they adopted a powerful sequence that was designed to give them more time doing the thing that makes money, which is qualifying candidates and managing jobs through to placement. If you want to find out more, you know where to find me. If you are using sequence-based software and you want some help in terms of being able to structure messages that starts to get those types of open rates and those types of response rates, I seem to spend a lot of my time doing that at the moment, so maybe we should talk. Hey, thank you for watching. If you want to continue to get access to more high quality training and coaching ideas to help you to stay inspired as a recruiter, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe, and check out the description below for relevant links to tools, frameworks and other ideas to keep you moving forward. And I look forward to seeing you on another one very soon.